Northern California, the late 1960s. A sense of unease began to grip the region. A shadow lurked in the night. This was no ordinary criminal. He was a predator, a killer. He would become known as the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer wasn't content with just taking lives. He craved attention, recognition. He wanted to be feared, and he succeeded. The Zodiac toyed with law enforcement, sending cryptic messages to newspapers. These letters were filled with ciphers and threats, taunting the police and terrifying the public. Despite decades of investigation, the Zodiac Killer has never been caught. His true identity remains a mystery, making his case one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries in American history. The terror he inflicted and the questions he left unanswered continue to fascinate and haunt us to this day. December 20th, 1968. A young couple, Betty Lou Jensen and David Faraday, parked on Lake Herman Road. They were on their first date, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. Their evening ended in tragedy. They became the Zodiac's first victims, shot at close range. The crime scene offered few clues. The killer had vanished into the night. The murders of Jensen and Faraday sent shockwaves through the community. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of the Zodiac's reign of terror. The brutal nature of the crime and the lack of a clear motive left investigators baffled. The case remained unsolved, casting a pall over the community. It would be months before the Zodiac struck again, but the memory of that night on Lake Herman Road lingered. The summer of 1969 brought a terrifying escalation in the Zodiac's activities. On July 4th, he struck again. Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in a parked car at the Blue Rock Springs Park in Vallejo. The Zodiac approached the car and opened fire. Darlene Ferrin was killed instantly. Mageau, though seriously wounded, managed to survive the attack. His testimony provided investigators with their first real description of the assailant. Just a few months later, on September 27th, the Zodiac attacked again. Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were enjoying a picnic at Lake Berryessa. A man approached them, dressed in a hooded costume with a chilling symbol, a circle with a cross through it. The hooded figure bound and stabbed the couple. Cecilia Shepard tragically succumbed to her injuries. Brian Hartnell, despite being stabbed multiple times, miraculously survived. His testimony, along with the killer's brazenness, sent a wave of fear through the region. The Zodiac was becoming bolder, more dangerous. October 11th, 1969, San Francisco. Paul Stein, a cab driver, picked up a fare. It was a routine night until it wasn't. The passenger shot Stein at close range, killing him instantly. The killer then calmly stepped out of the cab and disappeared into the night. This time, however, he left behind a chilling memento, a piece of Stein's blood-soaked shirt. This murder, committed in a busy city under the cover of darkness, sent shockwaves through San Francisco. The Zodiac had proven he could strike anywhere, anytime. The boldness of the attack and the public nature of the crime shocked the city. It was a stark reminder that no one was safe from the Zodiac's reign of terror. The case became a top priority for law enforcement, but the killer remained elusive. Section 5. The Chilling Ciphers, the Zodiac's Cryptic Communication. The Zodiac Killer wasn't content with just murder. He wanted to taunt, to toy with the authorities. He began sending letters to newspapers. These weren't ordinary letters, they were filled with ciphers, coded messages that he claimed held the key to his identity. The most famous of these was the Z408 cipher. This 408-character puzzle, sent piecemeal to different newspapers, captivated the public's imagination. A schoolteacher and his wife, using their love of crossword puzzles, cracked the code. The message, once deciphered, sent chills down their spines. It was a rambling, disturbing look into the mind of a killer, but it did not reveal his name. The Zodiac had won again, his identity remaining a tantalizing mystery. The Z340 cipher, even more complex, remained unsolved for decades. Finally, in 2020, a team of amateur codebreakers, using advanced software, cracked the code. The message, while revealing little about the killer's identity, offered further insight into his twisted psyche. Section 6. Taunts and Terrors. The Zodiac's menacing messages. The Zodiac's letters weren't just about puzzles and ciphers, they were filled with taunts aimed at the police and threats directed at the public. He claimed responsibility for numerous murders, far more than were ever confirmed. He bragged about his intelligence, his ability to outsmart the authorities. One particularly chilling threat involved bombing a school bus full of children. He even provided a detailed diagram of the explosive device he planned to use. This threat, though never carried out, sent a wave of panic through communities. Parents were terrified to send their children to school. The Zodiac's letters, with their mix of cryptic messages and terrifying threats, kept the public and the police on edge. His words, often scrawled in a chillingly distinctive handwriting, became a symbol of terror. He reveled in the fear he created, feeding off the attention his letters generated. Section 7. Faces in the Shadows. Key suspects in the Zodiac case. Over the years, numerous suspects have been investigated in connection with the Zodiac killings. Arthur Lee Allen, a convicted child molester, became a prime suspect. He matched witness descriptions and owned a watch with the Zodiac symbol. Richard Gaikowski, a journalist, also drew the attention of investigators. His handwriting bore similarities to the Zodiac's, and he made cryptic comments about the case. Another suspect, Lawrence Kane, had a history of violence and a possible connection to one of the crime scenes. Despite compelling evidence against each suspect, none could be definitively linked to the crimes. DNA evidence, when available, failed to provide a match. The lack of concrete proof allowed the Zodiac's true identity to remain shrouded in mystery. Section 8. The Zodiac's shadow over popular culture. The Zodiac Killer, despite never being caught, has cast a long shadow over American culture. His crimes, the mystery surrounding his identity, and his taunting communication style have captivated the public for decades. The case has spawned countless books, documentaries, and films. David Fincher's 2007 film, Zodiac, starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Robert Downey Jr., brought the case to a new generation, reigniting interest in the unsolved murders. The film's meticulous attention to detail and its exploration of the obsession with the case resonated with audiences. True crime podcasts and online forums dedicated to solving cold cases keep the Zodiac case alive. Amateur sleuths continue to pore over the evidence, searching for new clues and proposing new theories. The Zodiac Killer, though a figure of terror, has become an object of fascination. His case a grim reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of everyday life. Section 9. An enduring enigma. The unresolved mystery of the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer remains an enigma, a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. Despite decades of investigation, countless man-hours, and advances in forensic technology, the killer's identity remains unknown. The case serves as a stark reminder of the limitations of even the most dedicated law enforcement efforts. The Zodiac's ability to evade capture, his cryptic messages, and his terrifying crimes continue to fascinate and frustrate us. Will we ever unmask the Zodiac Killer? Perhaps one day, a new piece of evidence will come to light, a witness will come forward, or a technological breakthrough will provide the missing link. Until then, the Zodiac Killer will remain an unsolved mystery, a ghost from the past that continues to haunt our present. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of America's most infamous unsolved mysteries, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more intriguing stories. Stay curious and stay safe.